If you're close to goal or closer than you've ever been, and this feels heavier and more fragile or more uncomfortable than expected, this video is just for you, because there's a real reason this stage feels different, and it has nothing to do with failure. If you're new here, my name is Man Does Midlife, and I'm on a medicated weight loss journey using Mounjaro. Now, in just over 7 months, I've lost over 70 pounds injecting Mounjaro into my belly every single Sunday. This channel is all about documenting the highs, the lows, everything in between in an honest and frank way. So if you think this video is for you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Just like to say before we get into the main video, if it sounds like I've got a stinking code, that is because I've got a stinking code. And that's my commitment to making a video for you guys today. Right, let's get straight on with it, shall we? So what I really wanted to be saying at this point is that my goal is within touching distance. Unfortunately, it's not. I can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm sort of treading water in the right direction to reach that goal weight. Now, when you start a weight loss journey, you're always going to assume the start is a hard bit, the middle is the uncomfortable bit, and the end is the relief. You've decided to go on a weight loss journey, you think this is going to be tough. If anything, that's the easy bit. The easy bit's getting started. And it's true that when you start the journey, you're losing weight, you're feeling fantastic. When you get towards the end of your journey in the later phases, you start thinking, will this work? Will I be able to keep it off? Anxiety creeps in, doubt creeps in. Am I going to ruin this? Am I going to look back in 3 months' time and have put on 3-4 stone again? And that's where, and emotionally, it can become really tough as you reach or get closer to your goal weight. But why has progress slowed as I've got closer to my goal? Now, there's a few talking points regarding this. One of them's got to be smaller body, smaller calorie margin, so you haven't got that little bit of wiggle room where maybe you can go over 1 week. You can perhaps have a few more biscuits than you would normally have, or you've taken your eye off the goal a little bit. You're not getting the quick wins, and you're certainly not getting the visual change. You've lost a lot of weight, people are noticing, you're getting the compliments. But as you get closer to the goal, it's not so noticeable. People don't see it. I don't see it when I look in the mirror. My clothes fit absolutely fine now, but I'm not going down in sizes as I was when I was in the middle of the journey or the start of the journey. So I kind of liken it to something I know a little bit about, which is, let's talk about bike races. So you're in the breakaway, you've managed to get away from that breakaway in the last 2 to 3 miles, and now you're going solo to the finish line. Now, you know you've won this race, you know you've got it. So the last 100 metres, you are easing off, arms in the air, giving it the old pistololo. You've won the race. And I think that mindset is what trips you up when you get closer to goal. To me, I'm riding up that home straight now. Crowds are cheering. I can see the finish line. And I'm about to get a bouquet of flowers. And that's where the trouble lies. And that's where it becomes ever so increasingly more difficult to get to your goal weight. The closer you get, the more precise things have to be, and precision makes it feel a little bit uncomfortable. Right here, before we move on to the next part of the video, I just wanted to say thanks ever so much for your support. It means the absolute world to me. If you'd like to support the channel, there are many ways to do so. There are super thanks, there are buy me a coffee, and there are now memberships where you'll get early access to my videos. And you'll also get a few extra behind the scene videos as well. As always, there's no pressure to ever do any of these things, but the option is there should you wish to take it. If you could like this video, if you could comment on this video, and if you could subscribe to the channel if you feel this kind of video is for you, that would be amazing too. Why do the latter stages of the journey feel more emotional weight? Now, you've got less compliments, fewer compliments, loss of novelty, and less external reinforcement. Who doesn't like a compliment? Who doesn't like people saying, have you lost weight? You look amazing, well done. What that leads to is more internal accountability. And that's when you find out more about yourself, when nobody's cheering at you. you need to really trust in the process, trust in yourself, trust in your journey. And although it's within grasping, and though I can almost smell that go away, nobody really knows what that's going to bring when you get there. There's not going to be confetti and hooters and people cheering. There's going to be that little bit of satisfaction that you've achieved what you set out to achieve when you started on this amazing weight loss journey that you decided to take upon yourself, that I decided I needed to do for my overall health. When I talked about the bike race just now, there isn't going to be that finish line. There isn't going to be those crowds cheering. There isn't going to be a bouquet of flowers, and there isn't going to be a trophy. There's going to be the mental anxiety of knowing, can I continue to do this? Can I continue to maintain my weight? And I think things are going to get really challenging and really interesting when we get to that point. Hopefully in the reasonably near future. And what I actually consider myself now is to be in the quiet danger zone. I feel like it could go one of two ways, because these small slips starting to feel bigger. The all or nothing sort of mentality is creeping in a bit, and I do feel that perhaps I should be further along on my journey. I've been on this medication for over 7 months now, and I never intended to be on it this long, if I'm honest, and I felt like I would have been at my goal around about Christmas time, and we're now in early February and I'm still sort of plodding along. So for me, I think I need to make these adjustments, do the things that I know I can do that make a difference, not overcorrect, but just make these fine adjustments. I need to stop comparing myself to other people who are perhaps not been on the medication as long as I have, but have reached their goal, and we're all different. And just remember that this phase isn't about me pushing harder, me restricting more. It's about learning how to hold that progress, keep strong, and maybe get my head around the fact that fairly soon I'll be all about maintenance and not loss. So if you're in a similar position, just remember that sometimes the hardest part isn't starting, it's learning how to stop chasing and start trusting. If it feels harder now, that generally means you're in a good place. It means you're closer than you think. And this phase deserves patience, and you don't need to be putting pressure on yourself. And it's also worth remembering the goal isn't to finish strong, it's to finish steady. And that really spurs me on at the moment. And as frustrating as I find it, if I keep repeating that over and over again, I know that that's going to get me to the place where I want to be. Once again, I've tried to keep this video a little bit shorter than some of my videos in the past, because I know how valuable and precious time is to everyone in this day and age. I will pop some videos of mine on the screen if you care to watch them. That would be amazing too. So I'm going to shoot off, take some night nurse and get an early night because I feel awful. And I will see you all on Saturday for my Q&A and weekly update video. If you've got any questions for Q&A, pop them down below in the comments, and I will do my best as a middle-aged chubby man to answer your questions on Saturday's video. But once again, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.